So what happens when someone like America's Sweetheart is accused of betrayal?
Yeah.
And then she turns around and reveals this darker story. Fear, control.
It gets complicated fast.
Right. The lines just blur completely between who's the victim, who's the accuser. How do you even start to figure out the truth? Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we are really getting into the complex and pretty unsettling story around Denise Richards and her estranged husband, Aaron Phypers.
And we're basing this on excerpts from a piece called Denise Richards, Betrayal, Abuse, and Shifting Truths.
Yeah, and it definitely promises a chilling look at what might be going on behind closed doors.
Definitely sounds like it.
So our mission today is basically to unpack these two very different stories. We'll look at the claims from both sides, explore the tensions.
And really let you, the listener, see how tough it can be to figure out what's real when, like the source says.
Nothing is what it seems. Exactly.
Okay.
So let's start with the initial spark, the claims that really kicked this whole thing off.
Right, the catalyst.
Aaron Phypers. He comes forward, alleges he found, and these are his words, explicit, intimate messages on Denise's laptop.
And the timing he gives is specific over the July 4th weekend.
Yeah. And he presents this as undeniable proof she was cheating. He was really clear, saying it wasn't, some misunderstanding or anything taken out of context.
No, he framed it as part of a longer hidden relationship, a full-blown betrayal, I think was the phrase.
Wow. Okay, so let's unpack that. When an accusation like that drops, especially with, digital evidence cited,
Yeah.
what's the immediate impact?
Well, it's powerful, right? That kind of digital smoking gun, quote unquote. It's not just potential evidence. It's a narrative weapon.
A narrative weapon. Okay.
Yeah, it immediately puts the accused person, in this case Denise, on the defensive. They don't just have to deny it, they have to completely reframe the whole story.
So it forces their hand.
Absolutely. It's sort of a classic move in these public disputes. You try to control that initial perception because that often shapes the whole debate that flows.
Makes sense.
So Denise's challenge there is it's huge. She can't just say no. She has to change how everyone is looking at those messages.
Which is pretty much exactly what happens next, right?
What?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Uh-huh.
Denise steps up with her side, and it completely flips that initial narrative.
Okay, so how does she respond?
She actually admits the messages existed, which is interesting.
Right. Not a flat denial then.
No.
Yeah.
But she adds crucial context. She says they were brief, emotional, and happened only after months of neglect.
Ah, the neglect angle.
Yes, and she insists they were never physical. That's a key point for her.
Okay.
And really, she frames them not as cheating, but as a symptom of a deeper issue, like her trying to feel heard or valued again.
So if we just pause there for a sec, what she's doing is really strategic. She's not just admitting, she's recontextualizing.
Right.
Changing the meaning.
Exactly. Moving it away from simple infidelity towards this much more complex picture. Marital problems, personal suffering.
It kind of raises that bigger question, doesn't it? How often do these public accusations, these sort of flashpoints, actually mask deeper private pain?
Turning a symptom into the main crime, maybe?
Could be, instead of looking at the underlying issues.
And then she lands her main counterpunch, the core accusation against Aaron.
Which is?
Long-term emotional and psychological abuse. She argues the whole cheating story is just a distraction tactic from the damage he caused.
Wow. Okay, so that's a major escalation. Abuse allegations.
Totally. And the source mentions sources close to the couple who seem to back this up, saying the marriage was slowly crumbling for years.
Right, the inside perspective.
Yeah, friends apparently saw Denise feeling emotionally drained, manipulated. She reportedly confided that Aaron's behavior made her feel like she was constantly walking on eggshells.
That phrase always paints such a vivid picture of tension.
Doesn't it? Just like constantly afraid of triggering anger.
So, her narrative becomes one of survival within a difficult marriage, and the messages are framed as almost a cry for help, or at least connection.
Pretty much. It shifts the focus entirely from, did she cheat?
Yeah.
To what was happening in that marriage.
Fascinating shift.
And, well, predictably, these two completely opposing stories have now led to a full-blown legal battle.
Not surprising. Once abuse is alleged, it often goes legal.
Right. Both sides are digging in hard. Denise is apparently preparing to submit evidence of this toxic and emotionally damaging relationship.
What kind of evidence?
Things like screenshots, voice memos, text conversations. Pretty standard stuff in these cases, I guess.
Digital trails again, but from her perspective this time.
Exactly. And crucially, she's also pursuing full custody of her daughter.
Yeah.
The argument being Aaron's behavior made the home unsafe.
Raising the stakes even higher, custody battles are brutal.
Oh, definitely. But Aaron's not just sitting back, he fires back immediately.
Okay, what's his response to the abuse claims?
He calls them outrageous, flat out denies them. He asserts Denise is fabricating these allegations.
Fabricating? Why?
His claim is she's doing it to cover her tracks about the cheating and, win sympathy in court.
The counter-narrative continues. She's the liar trying to distract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says he's the one who has been wronged and he's ready to fight back.
So, stepping back, when these private fights go public and legal like this, what happens? It's not just about the courtroom, is it?
No, not at all.
It becomes this, dual battlefront. You've got the lawyers fighting it out legally, but then you've also got the PR teams. They're working behind the scenes, crafting the public narrative, maybe leaking things strategically.
Right, shaping how we all see it.
Yeah. Carefully worded statements, trying to sway public sympathy. It's not just about legal truth anymore, it's about perception management.
Perception management, I like that.
Which side's story feels more believable to the public? Because that perception can actually, subtly influence things. Legal outcomes, future work.
That makes total sense. So this strong rebuttal from Aaron, is it effective? Does it risk making him seem defensive? Or does it help paint him as the wronged party?
It's a gamble, really. For some people, a strong denial reinforces innocence. For others, it might seem like protesting too much.
Depends on who you already lean towards believing, maybe.
Probably. And what else comes out? But the source makes it clear. This is now a courtroom war.
Yeah.
And crisis PR teams are already involved. Everyone knows the stakes are incredibly high.
Not just legally.
No, definitely not just legally. It's the court of public opinion, too. And apparently, neither side is backing down.
Wow. So what does this intense back and forth mean for the public who, maybe followed their relationship? It gets confusing.
It really does. It becomes this high-stakes public drama. And you have to wonder, right, how much of what we see in these situations is about actually finding the truth versus just winning the narrative war, controlling the story that gets told.
Yeah. Which brings us right back to that core question from the source material.
The big one.
Who is telling the truth? It's the fundamental dilemma here.
Is Denise, as she claims, finally exposing a nightmare she's been living in silence?
Or is Aaron what he claims to be?
Right.
A man falsely accused, blindsided by betrayal.
We just don't know for sure based on this. It really underscores how incredibly challenging it is to navigate these complex personal disputes, especially when they play out so publicly.
Right, because every accusation seems to have a counter-accusation ready.
Exactly. And every piece of evidence one side presents, the other side might frame as a distraction or a fabrication.
It's like a hall of mirrors.
A good way to put it.
Right.
And the source itself leaves us hanging, saying the battle is far from over.
Ominous.
And if the rumors are true, even more secrets are about to be revealed, which just reinforces the final line.
Because in this story, nothing is what it seems.
And maybe the real deep dive for us, as listeners or observers, isn't just trying to figure out the facts of this case, but maybe looking at our own biases. How do we instinctively react to stories like this? Who are we predisposed to believe, and why? That's often just as revealing.
That's a really insightful point. This deep dive, it's definitely shown us two starkly different realities presented by Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers.
Absolutely. Leaving us right back at that fundamental question about truth and perception.
So a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. In this era where, let's face it, personal lives often become public spectacles,
All the time.
how do we, just as observers, navigate all this? How do we critically assess these competing narratives?
What clues should we even look for beyond the screaming headlines to try and understand the secrets behind closed doors?
Yeah, and what does it really mean when we're told again and again that nothing is what it seems? Makes you think.
It certainly does.